Okay, everybody. Oh, and welcome. Oh, and welcome. Sorry. To the April meeting of the Kane County Ross Council. My name's somebody who helps facilitate these meetings, but I am actually the coordinator for nearby DuPage County Ross. So been out helping Kane County Ross for the past few months, and it's always and so, with that out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to my colleague, Annette Villarreal. And as I do that, I'm going to go ahead and share the agenda for today. So, Annette, just make sure the blue light's on, and we'll go ahead and get started. Okay.
All right, Derek, thank you. Thank you for that. So we are at the coroner's office today, Kane County, actually. And I'll start out by thanking the Kane County Coroner's Office for hosting us. Their team works tirelessly, often behind the scenes, to bring dignity and answer to families in the most difficult times. They also play a critical role in our overdose fatality review and substance use data. It's all save lives. So we are very grateful to be here today. And before we start with our guest today, we are going to do just not formal invitation, welcomes, but just say your name, your organization, and then the icebreaker to this. If you want to share, you don't have to. Just a special skill that you might have, right? I will share mine. I'll start myself. I'm Annette Villarreal. I'm the Kane County Coordinator for the ROSC. One of my special skills is, besides cooking, I was telling Jared, I literally can do a lot of things with my feet. Like I can pick up a lot of things with my feet. And
That didn't sound.
well, you know what I mean. So that's my special gift. That's my special gift. And how about you, Jared? What's your special skill?
Okay, so well, we compared notes. We can actually
Uh,
both do interesting things with our feet, but I'm not going to do that
Yeah.
one.
Okay.
So I think probably the skill that I'm decent at is like audio production, stuff like that. I'm the de facto engineer for every single meeting ever at our agency, which is fine. I like doing it, but from my radio days, I was a radio producer for almost 10 years. I worked for GN, and it was come true for the time I was there. To be here with everybody, I still like to think that's a skill of mine. So
And you're still using that skill every day.
every day,
Every day he uses skill.
every day.
Anyone else in the audience that would like to share a skill, but
You don't
please
have.
introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Lisa Kriegbaum with the Kane County Corners, Senior Deputy Attorney. Um, Special skill, way to put me on the spot. I was hoping I could be a dog like, your last meeting. I might have been trying to, I know. I don't know. So I'm going to go with drill surging. I do a lot of volunteering in my kids' schools, and yeah, that's what all the teachers tell me I'm really good at.
All right.
Yes. You're not allowed to push me over.
All right, we'll pass the mic around. This Nini.
Oh, it's your turn.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nini Velasquez. I am project coordinator through Corps, and I'm serving with Serenity Health and DuPage ROSC. So a skill, I would say I'm good at research. I can find out a lot of things about, especially when it comes to people. I know, but I've always been that way, despite now how good the internet is as well. But I remember many, many years ago, my friends would always come to me, wanted to find something out about somebody, and I would research. And I have a criminal justice background too, a degree in criminal justice, so that helps as well.
So wait, I have a question. So if a friend was going on a date with somebody and they were like, "Can you do some?"
Yes, we're looking at we're bringing up all the records now. Yes, absolutely.
We'll pass it. Thank you, Nini.
Hello, I'm Sarah Mendoza. I'm the Fatality Review Program Manager over at the King County Health Department. I don't know if this is a talent skill. I just did this for some of my coworkers and I can crack my eye.
Really?
Like it makes a little popping noise when I do it, but
So I'm a big popper and cracker and they yell at me all day long. Today I walked in and did one, and she goes, "Are you drinking enough water?" Thank you for sharing that. Yes. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Tony Garcia. I'm the information and referral specialist at the Kane department. And I don't really think I have a special skill, so I'll
Okay.
skip the icebreaker.
Fair enough.
That's cool. Well, okay, I guess I'm like flexible. I could do the splits
Okay.
if that counts.
I would say so. I can't do that. Yeah, I can't do that.
I'm learning all kinds of new skills. I'm Polly. I'm with Hesed House and some other things. Say public speaking.
Yeah.
My name's Danielle, and I'm the Corps coordinator at Serenity House. Kane County is one of the counties that the Corps grant oversees. Special skill. I mean, compared to other people that do this, I'm pretty mediocre. But compared to the normal person, I'd consider it a skill climb. And probably the coolest thing, well, definitely the coolest thing I've ever climbed in Wyoming. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Well, I'm Herb Strickland. I'm the Director of Substance Use Services at the Behavioral Health. And I guess the skill I've acquired over the years is I build
Nice.
up to 10. So that's a victory.
Amazing.
Hi, Brianna. I am the resource coordinator with Oxford House. I oversee Kane and DuPage County area, but across the state of Illinois. I was going to be kind of funny and be like, one of my special skills is I'm really good at forgetting things. Physically can leave my apartment without my car, starting my car, and then go back into my apartment and getting whatever it was that I got. But on a real level, through like different jobs that I've had and things that I've done with Oxford House, I've gotten pretty good at. That's definitely a nerd factor of mine that
Nice.
I love doing. So
Beautiful. Thanks, Brianna.
Hi, Lily Peterson. I'm one of the coordinators for the tobacco and nicotine grant over at the Kane County Health Department. And I'm gonna say my special skill out looking, which I wasn't special, but I'll never
First time.
blank boarding class for the first time. So
Yeah. Does anyone remember like the Mavic in in school, like where you had to do a certain amount of words per minute?
yes.
Oh, still have anxiety about some of those. Yeah. Yes. Whoa.
I'm the substance use prevention specialist at the Kane County Health Department. And I don't think it's really like a talent or a skill, but I'm like pretty double jointed, like hyper mobility. I can touch my elbows behind my back.
Oh my
and
God.
Yeah, my mom hates it and I love
Probably freak her out. That's awesome. Internet.
We have one more. Hi, everybody. One talent. My name is Matilda Faria. I am manager at the Alternative System in DuPage County. And let me put a little bit of here. I have a master's degree from New York University in human sexuality. So if you have any problem, just call me.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Matilda. If anybody needs her contact, you can
Yes.
directly contact
Reach out
me.
to us
I
or
will
come
share
to
it.
us. One for sure.
Right. So
That's what
yeah.
a room full of talent in here. My goodness.
Yes. Yeah. Honestly, yeah. It's very interesting, right? What we find out about each other and when we just share in a little icebreaker, right?
Yeah.
So after that fun icebreaker, right, and very interesting, I do want to start with sharing a little data, right, of some data that we were able to collect nationwide, but also local. So reflecting on the data from 2024, overdose rates nationally 1,711, a 24% decrease from the year before, from the 2 years before. Illinois was 2,419 deaths. And here in Kane County, we dropped from 93 drug-related deaths in 2023 to 59 in 2024, a 37% decrease. Of those 59, 37 opiate-related, comparison to DuPage, that had 61 opioid fatalities. The highest downstate rate was located in Greene County at 35. And with that said, this 37% reduction shows our collective work is making a difference, but 50 are still 59. So let's keep the momentum going. And with that said, I want to introduce our guest today, Lisa Creekbaum, who is here with us with the Kane County office, and I'll let her just give a little information on her background here.
Okay. So my name is Lisa Creekbaum. Thank my husband for that.
I got it. No worries.
So I have a degree in biology with my minor in forensic science, and I've been here in the office, I think 21 years going on. So I've kind of seen a lot of the accounts. I got to see what it was like when we started going through the height of the opiate crisis. So I'm really happy that, we have actually started to build a team and kind of address some of those issues. And like you said, we've been going down in those numbers. So obviously something is working or things are going on that, those still one death. So that's kind of my background.
So can I ask you, what exactly intakes for someone to be a deputy coroner? I know you shared that you have a bachelor's, right?
Yeah.
But besides just like not only just the educational part of it, like the passion, to want to do it, what would you share?
You do have to have a passion for people. And I know for me, this job is hard. We work a lot of hours. You never know. So just for people that don't know, right now, our particular office is on 12-hour shifts, and there's only about maybe 5 or 6 deputies. So your 12-hour shifts are often going to go into 15, 16, 17 hours, whatever it is. So that can kind of lend towards a higher burnout rate for some people. And I think that if you don't have the passion for this, it really makes it hard to sustain your. And one of the I really enjoy is being with families and trying to help them through those moments in time where it's their worst day. And how can I make this a little bit better while investigating and getting the information that I need in that process? So,
Wow, thank you for sharing that. That's very intentional, right? It has to be very intentional. And I love hearing that you guys are so person-centered, right? And family-centered, which
Right.
is so needed, right? Especially during those really difficult moments. So let me ask you, have you noticed any patterns or shifts here at your office over the past year regarding like overdose fatalities or substance-related cases?
So I am on obviously the overdose review fatality team. And as I'm going through some of these cases, reviewing families more in depth, long after the case has been closed, one of the recurring themes, and even when I'm out on a case and investigating it, is that fentanyl is so dangerous. And when I talk to people that are in that area or have used or are users, a lot of them are all like, oh no, I don't touch fentanyl. Like nobody. So I think that is really lending towards the decrease of why we're having less people die from that.
So the particular substances then you would agree would be more like fentanyl that you see.
Fentanyl's a high one. Part of your issue is that not like going to the store to something you know which product is. I think there's a lot of people who may like want heroin and not the fentanyl, but you don't know what you're buying. And then you end up having the patches that go through those fentanyl. So people are necessarily like saying, oh, I want fentanyl versus I want heroin, but the product that they think they're getting.
Yeah, it is. There is a increase of substances that are coming into, coming through that are pressed as pills. And so, people are out there thinking they're purchasing one thing, and then unfortunately they're not. And so that's why it's so important, right, that we have testing strips. I always have, I'm always giving out testing strips. I'm like, but at least do a, see what's going on. And another thing we advocate a lot about is informing, right, and educating that these, medications and these substances are coming pills. And so, again, it's identity, right? And it's so scary and so sad. It really is. So what challenges does your office face in collecting or interviewing individuals, since you shared that you work with the families? Is that, and I know it's very difficult, but are there barriers to that?
Sometimes the barriers are, I mean, obviously every case is a little bit different. For some families, they may not be aware that this is happening. So there's not a lot of information there is to give, regardless of how many times I ask a question. For others, they're not like really realizing how bad the situation is. I've had cases where I go in and family, this isn't, me, and then I'm like, but my scene tells me otherwise. And sometimes I feel like, well, how did that get missed? So that's also, I think, a barrier of how people themselves process it in the denial stage that they may or may not be in. There are times where maybe it's not a family member that's present, maybe it's friends, and so you have cleanup and disposal of the things that they are using. So yeah, those types of things are barriers.
Yes, yes. Wow. Sure. Okay.
Because it's related to family.
Okay.
Real quick. Are there any cultural barriers that you find, like maybe in background or maybe, I mean, Annette could probably talk about, she did home visits. So sometimes obviously there's like the cultural stuff that we run into, right?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah, that is. So out of left field, right? Because it wasn't on here. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Jared.
Yeah, and I try to think about like who my predominant audience tends to be. And I'll probably kind of skip over how those are arranged, but a lot of our cases come out of like the Aurora area or the Elgin area. Those are the two biggest cities that Kane County has. And I think culturally, it's, we still have a predominantly white area of people that are overdosing. I think that it's lower in the Hispanic and the Black males, or not just Black males, but African Americans. And I'm not saying that they aren't being exposed to that use, just are not always predominantly as high. But there is still that barrier. I apologize. I don't look at ethnicity as much, and I wasn't raised that way. So I think that's really what I was looking for. Just our numbers from 2025 is a lot of them tended to be still in the predominantly. And I don't know if that's because maybe other people are still focusing on alcohol and different types of.
Polysubstances.
Yes, exactly. And staying away from that heroin and the fentanyl area versus.
And now that we're on that point, so how quickly is your office typically able to identify and report new trends?
That's it does take us some time. I would probably tell you between 3 months, maybe a little bit less. The toxicology report gets sent. We use a lab. Private lab is located in Pennsylvania. It usually 4 weeks to get the results back. If we were to send it to the state, it would take a lot longer.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we don't send samples to the state. I do like the lab that we use. They have a clinical side to it. They are always trying to find what are the new trends out there, what things are coming through, can we build a test for that? Once we build a test for that, can we move it into the forensic arena and add that to our additional panels? Of which we've identified another one, and I apologize, the chemical name is, that they have now moved from the clinical area into the forensic realm, and we're kind of seeing a lot of like maybe one or two that we've been able to identify at this point. So they have a very valuable office in that respect.
Wow, interesting. Interesting that you guys like a private lab. So, are there any gaps in the community awareness or misconceptions about overdose deaths that you believe need more attention?
That's a good question. That I actually have questions with when I am sitting with the health department. We are doing our case reviews, is how to build the gaps between the community and providing the care that an individual needs to get through that rehab phase, or the care that's provided to them, say like after you've gone to a hospital for an overdose. I feel like there's a big gap in that area when you're dismissed or you discharged from a hospital and then moving on to, there's not always a resource after that for that rehabilitation phase or the support that they may need to get through and go into rehab and start the process of becoming clean. Did that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, we know that.
Okay.
I'm like, we are well aware of that one. Trust me.
Yeah. So how do we build barriers and gaps between that before somebody ends up coming into my office and into my care?
And that's exactly why we're here. Trying to bridge those connections, right? Trying to make sure that individuals who do need services like that can tap into service because they are so needed. And we're hearing it from the coroner's office, everyone. You know, it's just not me just, advocating and advocating like I always do, right? But we're hearing it from the coroner's office. So let's just keep that in mind. Just gonna go off script here a little bit because I don't want to take up so much of your time. But is there like any interesting case, that you like hold, keep it, or that does that, would be interesting?
Oh man, everybody's definition of interesting is different.
But anything that you share, yes, right, guys? Okay.
Okay, so that's be interesting and
It does,
Okay.
it's just, you can just share.
They put me on the spot there.
Oh, sorry.
Give me a
I'm like, sorry.
After 20 years of cases, it's like they're all up in there. And then I have to be careful about what I talk about.
Yes,
with them.
we wanna something light.
No,
Well, if you want, I also have a question from the chat.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Give
Yeah,
me a
let's skip
question
that
from
one.
the chat
Yeah,
while
let's do
I'm-
that.
While
Yeah,
I'm thinking
yeah.
about this, because I
Too. So Carissa from Raleigh actually asked, hang on right here, are you on the adulterant you found in the supply? So like the xylazines, medetomidines, nitazines, maybe that was some of the chemicals you were talking about,
So
or the adulterant specifically, I guess.
yeah, so when we get numbers and provide data, usually all of those deaths are related to it and may or may not have other chemicals on. So what the stats are on the other deaths in regards to the different chemical compositions. And that would definitely be something that I would have to research, but I don't think that they're as high. Now, I think as our levels of opiates are coming down, I would imagine that we're going to start to see an increase of other things like methamphetamine, or maybe just straight up Xanax overdoses entail as people are looking for other things to use that may be a little bit more safer, if you will, but it's obviously not
None of
safer.
it's safe.
Nothing's safe.
Like none
You
of
just,
it.
yeah, don't use it,
Yeah.
period.
Period. Exactly.
So,
Don't use it. And
Yeah.
if you are tested about it, right? Because we got to keep it real.
yeah.
So my last question for you, besides, sharing, if you can, and it doesn't really matter, would be like what data points or indicators would you consider most important for prevention and outreach partners?
Sure.
To partners to understand to understand better, to have a better understanding of what's going on out here. Why are people overdosing? What can we look for? What can we not look for?
That is a good question. So as far as, and I apologize,
No,
repeat that one more time.
So, basically I'm just asking like, what indicators or what points would you give like to maybe our organization and other partners on why it's so important, to consider, why it's so important to prevent, prevention instead of, um, overdoses. So
Yeah.
what would you recommend would be a good way to prevent these things, not only to us, to the partners here, but just to parents and just other people that you come across?
So if I understand the question correctly, my answer to that would be family support. Like we need to find a way to support families. I feel like there needs to be maybe some better family bonds in some of these areas where parents are engaging more in with their children, even as they're coming into the teen and adult area. For me, as my children are young, like we're moving up in the world, and people don't take time to connect with each other the way that they used to.
I agree.
And one of the recurring themes that I feel is parents, oh, I just didn't know, I was, I didn't realize that this was happening or this was happening. And,
I
you don't see your children as often. So there's that in that area. And then we set them free without having like those light bulbs to with situations. So how do we help with our teen and young adult population and teaching them to have those coping mechanisms in place to have, or I also feel that independence is a big thing.
Yes.
I think a lot of parents can tend to maybe do things for their children, and we're not as aggressive about teaching our children that they have the ability to do things. It makes you feel good about yourself. It raises your self-esteem and gives you a just being. So I feel like those things are important to us. And so how do we teach that? Or how do we help young adults do that in the cases that maybe isn't something that was given to them in life as they're growing up?
Thank you so much for sharing that. I agree. Well, we'll take some questions from the audience if anyone has any The deputy coroner, no one? Oh, Adam, one. Of course. And here I come with my microphone. There we go.
So my first one would be, do you know when the new forensics lab is opening here in Kane County?
I actually have no idea. So, yeah, I'm not a part of that part of it. So I would love to know. I know that there's going to be some things that we need to go through before we get there. So I would tell you we're probably a year or two out at least, as we're getting that up and running, and then simultaneously testing and making sure everything is squared away in the way that it should be.
Yeah.
So,
And then my second question has to do with people that are unidentified or that have no family, no one else. Are there services and things for those deceased people that they are remembered?
so we generally do not leave anybody unidentified. There will be forensic testing that one will go through to acquire some type of identification. Most cases, I think just about every case that we've ever had through this office in the last 20 plus years, we've had an idea of who they were. And then we used either DNA technology, fingerprinting, or dental in our efforts to positively ID someone. So it's usually done. Now, we do have events where even if family is notified after we have made that identification, that maybe they don't want to claim their loved one. Or maybe we aren't able to actually find family for a loved one. If you are a veteran, usually we can find one of the local funeral homes that will help assist. Most of them have some type of veteran benefit, so we contacted the Veterans Affairs office, and then it's just a matter of making sure that we have all of that paperwork in place before we actually physically release someone into that care. And I actually think one of the local funeral homes is memorial service for one of our veterans that was unclaimed. Yeah, I think it was today actually. And it was nice. They posted it to see who would come out to pay some last respects, which I think is, they're actually letting public come in to do that. Other people, when we're not able to find someone, we will eventually cremate them and they get into one of the local cemeteries that have that service for us. So, yeah. But
Anyone else? Any questions? No one? No one? No takers? Do we
okay.
have any questions there, Jared?
So
Okay.
back to your question.
Yes. Oh, we're gonna get something,
Not
guys.
drug related.
Of course.
I very much enjoy, and enjoy is not the word for it, but you have to love part of your job in
Of
order to
course.
do this. Weird, like work related like how did that happen?
Those are the ones.
Those are the ones that are very interesting to me.
Yes.
So
So do you guys like just go? It just came to me. So you said you're on the forensic side, right? So are there like any new forensic tools that you guys are using currently to like do certain things or testings or whatever it is? Yeah.
I'm so glad you asked that question.
Ding, 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 ding,
So I'm actually in the process of calling one of the coroner's offices in South Carolina. They were able to get a grant for what it's called a Randox testing machine, and the company does basically toxicology testing. It's very limited, but it gives us an answer in 30 minutes of whether or not something is positive for fentanyl or not. So I had called over to Seattle a giant, medical examiner's office. And I wanted to see how they implored this during the opiate crisis. And because they were on the other side of, it's like I had a little bit of time to get us ready as it was moving from New York and everything down. It was interesting to hear them say that they knew like this was going to happen. Yeah, like this was going to happen. So they topped off it, and these numbers are not accurate by any means, but they had like at least 1,500 opiate deaths in a year. So if you think about that on a daily basis and certifying death certificates and stuff like that, they used not only this, what they observed at the scene and what was found, but also that particular machine to give them an idea of, okay, we know that this is going to be fentanyl. We are going to certify the death certificate that day. That way the family could be done and moved on to that process. And then they would verify and send off everything to NMS, and where they would get that turnaround of having that positive result. So it made things fast, and also helped law enforcement tell them that for sure they had a fentanyl death, so that if they needed to get warrants or go after anybody for selling that.
They can go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, one
Yeah.
question, one more question. Oh, sorry. No, it's okay, guys, but I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't know if this is a personal question, but I go ahead and say, this dealing with death every single day of your life diminish or increases your fear of death?
That is a good question. You have so many good questions today. No, I do not have lots of fear of death. I'm very good at separating. I know that I do leave it all here. I'm very matter of fact, and so when I go home, I am focused on my family and the things that need to be focused on there. And then when I come back, I am very agendaed on, I have things to handle. I have families to serve. I can't be living in, this constant state of sadness or fear that something's going to happen. But it does my sense of, I know the million ways to die. So, maybe we shouldn't do this, or, maybe my child shouldn't be, holding those scissors and running down the hall, what thing it is. I'm like, oh, kill you. So that probably heightens my sense, makes me a little more cautious. I let those, oh, I thought you're all like, yeah, she does. As they continue to let that go, and let me tell you, when I get into the teenage years, because I'm not there yet, to close my eyes for the best, because I don't know how boys make it to. I really don't.
I agree. I agree. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know, but I can't also hover either. They're going to have to
Exactly.
figure it out on their own. So,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, thank you so much for answering that question for us. I mean, that sounds like a great self-care tool, and, a great way to like guard your mental wellness, right? And especially it's in working this environment. So we want to thank you again. If no one has any more questions, oh.
So usually that would happen if it's a veteran, and really part of it is dependent upon the funeral home. And a lot of times it's posted to like Facebook or some type of social media page. Yeah. So I know Madison up north is pretty good about posting those. So, and he's a veteran himself, so he's very on it. Yeah. Huh? I thought it was today. Okay. I just saw it. Huh? Okay. Yeah, because I just saw it on Facebook this morning, actually. Oh, Kia, one of our deputies.
Welcome, Kia.
He's also a veteran.
Yes. Oh,
So
thank
you.
Thank you for your, yeah, of course. So anyone else, any interesting questions for her, Deputy? No one online?
Nothing you thought you wanted to know?
All right, well, again, so then we'll move on to the next portion, but we want to thank you. We want to thank you for your time, for your service, and for everything that you do. We truly appreciate you guys.
Thank
And we
you.
appreciate your partnership most of all. Thank you so much for, being there for the community and for the families.
Thank you. And thank you for having me. I was very
It's
happy
an
to be
honor.
here.
It's an honor. Thank you so much. Okay, everyone. So those were that was a great interview, right? Very interesting. But then we'll move on now to the next portion of our meeting. And so we're gonna talk a little bit about a community health fair that we had last Saturday, wasn't it? I gave you photos from, yes, which this was actually at the no, at the Villa Park Library. And this was this week, was it? 2 days ago. If anybody's asking exactly what we're doing in this picture, well, on Saturday, last Saturday, we had the pleasure of being out at Willowbrook, in the Willowbrook community at Anna M. Jeans Elementary School, where we were included in a health fair. And during that time, we were hosting not only a presentation for parents, but we were also hosting and demonstrating a hidden in plain sight for parents to come in. So we were housed in a classroom, and we did have some parents that came. Some of these materials that you see here on this table are what we were demonstrating to the parents, and hidden in plain sight. We can't really zoom in, but there is a lot of interesting items on that table. Let's see. So there are a few interesting items on that table, but there were a lot of things that parents were able to identify that they had no idea that students and just individuals can hide or they can mimic. Now with like these Mountain Dew drinks that you can see there, and some of those monster drinks and drinks that but some of them are also what they where the lids literally come off. You can actually, put items inside. And it's very interesting because exactly having our car, right, and what our children in their bedrooms go in was, in a rush and probably not look specific. So when we look at it like review, they kind of mimic, we normally do Arizona. There's even a Kool-Aid can, which literally is the same size as what you will buy for a party size. As you shake it, there's powder in there. I think it's, and you open it up and it's, so, oh yes. Also we have every vape under the sun. Um, like, oh my God, this is great. They were, a lot of them were like amazed. They were like, I can't believe that these things exist. Where can my kids? So, and also they were very impressed with Jared's presentation on all these new synthetics and what people and parents and anyone can buy in gasoline stations, right? So, we wanted just to show you guys what we partook in. This was along with Hope for Healing, which is another organization that works in the field. And now we just want to share our announcements for our partners. Okay, thank you. And so coming up, we had identified that Safe Kane County pickup event happening Tuesday, April the 21st, from 6:30, and Thursday, April the 23rd, 2026, from 4:30 to 6:30. And again, this is that program that I love so much when I first heard about it, because I feel like it's such a great harm reduction tool, which is coming to get gun locks.
How many biometric gun safes are going to be given away? Does anybody know?
Oh,
Are they
wow.
out? That's
That's
pretty
it, right? Like there's that, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure it was.
I love that. I love that. So that's a great, great, great.
You
No,
can still get the cable
some. We have some. But you know what? I just love that whole,
Yeah.
initiative, right? Because it's so important. So now we have our friends at Greater Family Health who are going and hosting at Elgin Community College. They are there on Mondays and Tuesdays, and they do rapid HIV testing. It's very confidential, but it's also bilingual. So if you know anyone, in the Latino community that wants to receive those services, please send them there. It's all free. And again, it's very confidential. Okay. And so our friends at the Kane County Health Department are going to be hosting Double Jeopardy, right? It's addressing substance use disorder and problem gambling with Mark Sanders.
Can I say real quick? I told her this today. Mark Sanders christened the very first DuPage Ross meeting ever, like
Yes.
5 years ago. It was
Exactly.
really cool. He's a great, great presenter and an awesome guy. So if you're signed up for that, it's going to be a really cool time.
We're signed up for it, right? We're signed up for it.
are, yes.
I'm looking forward to it.
So there you
Yeah.
go.
Oh, you guys too, right? Okay, so we'll see you there.
Let's just
okay?
stay in here. Right? Let's do it. All right.
No, Jared, no.
All right.
It's
all
a
right.
few days away, Jared.
All right. Do I go over to our stuff now?
Yes, please. So again, our Geneva office is hosting their drop-in centers. It is on State Street.
Has anyone done this before in Kane County? Has anyone stopped by? Okay.
Sure.
Look, it's a nice, cozy little office. Like, we're never a ton of people, obviously, but somebody who might be suffering health break, or even just like somewhere they just need to like get out of the weather for a little environment, that's a really good place to do it.
Yeah.
And who are there every week have a ton of resources, so they carry a lot of the stuff that we do out units, and then they have like clothing that's appropriate for the weather, winter clothes, but obviously it's changing now. But also harm reduction materials, toiletries, and then just like a nice kind of for a little bit.
And in the same note, on those Tuesdays, all hosting
Oh yeah, let me get to the next one. Here we go.
a woman's.
Oh, I lost
Oh,
it. Sorry.
it's
Hang on
okay.
1 second. All right, there we go.
Oh, we all have virtual Narcan trainings, but at the same time, simultaneously, we also have the women's reentry fellow program. They are able to tap into services on Tuesdays from 12 to 2. These are bilingual, and they're on site, right? Then Thursdays from 5 to 7 is the men's reentry fellowship program. Walter Sanders is there, and so he is able to. Again, those are also by those for men. Okay.
It's just the impetus for this particular group because it's non-program specific. This is like we want people to really understand. After going into Kane County jails to do some volunteer stuff, is that people wanted to go. They felt like maybe they didn't any of those groups, so like 12-step, smart, whatever. So this is actually just a place where the fellow is people who just are justice involved. There are people who are formerly incarcerated. Like that's the fellowship among that. And Walter's an awesome coordinator. So yeah, good time.
Want to highlight that we've started and people, needing the service. So we're excited to know that update.
Yeah.
So besides we are still going out on Sundays and with our harm reduction van. We are located in the parking lot of the Aurora Control, right right a little down from Hesed House. We are there on Sundays from 2 to 3.
3:30ish sometimes.
Sometimes depending on how many we're helping us,
Bring
right?
your dogs down.
So there is a dog park that's fenced in.
Yeah.
And you can go ahead and, your dog can go and have a great time. And then, you as well. But I was just talking to Jared. I really wanted to send a shout out there because it's not just about bringing donations or bringing food. There is a lot of individuals that just want to sit down and have a conversation, with someone and just be noticed and just have like someone share and hear what they're going through that day. So if you could, if you have any time on a Sunday, just please feel free to bring a chair and sit out there with us.
Yeah.
You guys are welcome, always welcome. We're always asking for partners to come out with us, or just anybody in the community to come out with us.
And I can say we're primarily kind of seeing the people who have been living in the tents back behind there. There's that nature path that runs back there. But when we talked to them last week, they were mentioning that the of demolishing where they were at, and so then they tried behind the Burger King, and then they wanted to. So that's kind of we're attempting to help and provide access to stuff when we're out there. And I was telling another thing, they're very, very like cool people. Like I said, they just, people sometimes fall on hard times. It doesn't matter how we get there. It's about what we can offer people while they're still kind of struggling out there. So come hang out. It's a really fun time. And on that note, well, I should turn this on. That weather, this flyer due to the graciousness and like the amazing generosity of people who donated, many of who are in this room with us right now.
Thank you guys so much.
I mean, we ended up distributing 200 plus winter coats this year, dozens and dozens of scarves, hats, because of all the donations. So
we wouldn't be able to do it without the donations and the generosity of the community.
Obviously, now that the weather's kind of changing, we're going to be changing what we're collecting. I'm happy to take this, but I'm just going to have to stick them in our closet. Spring and summer clothing, socks and underwear. That's like two of them. Also men's jeans. I get a ton of requests for men's jeans and I don't get a ton of donations of them. So yeah. But also, like I said, toiletries, ways to stay clean, like body wipes, things like that.
Yeah.
So
mosquito spray, because out there and it's not. So just think like, being camping out in the sun, you're out there, those kind of materials that you would need.
So we got a few minutes left. Do you want to open it up for for like any of their programs?
Does anyone have any updates?
Anything you want to promote, even if it's like a meeting that needs support, any other thing? Yeah.
Any events?
No.
Oh, of course, Lily. I'm coming.
She is.
Have to be.
She's sneaky.
For the tobacco and nicotine cessation prevention program, we are filming a series of videos.
Nice.
Just kind of talking about everyone's experiences, and we kind of want everyone's experiences. So if you've, are affected by someone who has smoked, or if you're thinking about quitting, if you're trying to quit, just wherever you're at. And yeah, we want all kinds of perspectives. Any social workers or we want to like really hit the education side. Trying to make different videos for different what's the word, audiences.
For sharing that. And actually, I think time, caught us today, but we wanted to highlight.
Hang on, I got somebody in the chat real quick.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, Carissa. Carissa just started as the program manager in Kane and DuPage of Live for Lolly. She'd be interested in connecting with everybody.
Wow, congratulations.
And Carissa, everybody. So you
Live for Lolly
people. So yeah, we'll connect. But yeah, anyone else here in person that would like to promote anything? We may have time now then.
You think so? Really quick? So we wanted to, now that we were on the subject of videos, we wanted to promote, I don't know if everyone remembers when we went through our strategic goal, one of our strategic goals was to start a campaign, for stigma, to reduce stigma. And we kind of wanted to start what we titled Language Matters, right? And it's kind of using first person language and other, to try to interchange certain words that we use in the community that need to reflect where we're at today and not where we were before. So,
sorry.
With that being said, we had thought about making some, of 2 or 3 social media posts and maybe partnering up, with whoever would like to partner with us. But just as an example, we had a campaign through DuPage ROSC, if you want to share really quick and share the video.
So
there.
we, and most of you who kind of follow us might be aware, some of these we've done over the past few years, but we've been fortunate enough through DuPage to partner with their health department, behavioral health collaboratives, different stigma reduction campaigns few years. One was like fentanyl awareness, where some of us with lived experience, and, like posters and some boards, saw all kinds of interesting things. And then last year, and former colleague Blake, or recurring, they were enough to post for that campaign. We Absolutely. So here at Serenity House, we have please a abstinence policy. So the reason we have that here is mostly for the safety of all of the clients. But you know what? At this point, it's about 1 minute left, so we will share with everybody. But it looks like it kicked us off the audio or something. Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
By the time we troubleshoot it and fix it, it's gonna be back. So yeah. So why don't we do this? I'm gonna stop this share, and I'm gonna.
We'll bring back